Hello, I'm Grant MacNeill, and this is the 12th Fret Guitar Shop. Follow me for the grand tour. Here we are at the front counter. This is where all the action occurs. Here we have Gibson Les Pauls lined up along that top row. Then we move down through SGs, vintage and new gear there. On this side we have vintage guitars. This wall will change every few days because there's vintage guitars coming and going. Mostly semi-acoustics, solid body electrics in here. The Beatles played Rickenbackers. This is a Tom Petty signature model. Gibson archtops, 335s, 339s, 336s. We love Gretsch guitars and are very dedicated Gretsch dealers. These little studios have groups of guitars. First studio will be primarily electric guitars in the under $1,000 range. When I was a kid, a guitar came with pickups. The pickups it came with were the pickups it came with, and that was that. Larry DiMarzio came along in the 70s and started making custom pickups, and everything took off from there. Now there's dozens of makers of pickups. We have a lot of our strings made for us by a custom string maker in England called Newtone Strings. Cables, capos, so on, we only carry the ones we actually like. Bowtique pedals have become a big specialty of ours. I can't begin to tell you anything about boutique pedals, but I've got guys here who know everything about them. Every day something really cool comes in that reminds me of my childhood playing electric guitars in grade 7, grade 8. This is a lovely old mid-60s Harmony. Incredible guitar. It was a cheap instrument at the time, but people my age have rediscovered these, and they're a lot of fun to play, and they sound great. This one happens to be in original condition, which is very unusual. Guitar straps, we have them made for us by Levy's Leathers, a Canadian company, best straps in the world, and these are Godin built guitars. Godin is the largest guitar making company in North America. They have 5 plants in Quebec and build Seagull guitars, Simon & Patrick, and then the Godin line of electric guitars, and we carry 30 or 40 of their instruments. Here we are in our bass room. We try to carry every model of Fender bass made, Hofner Beetle basses, Music Man basses, and Godin fretless basses. Duesenberg from Germany, interesting new company. We've been carrying their instruments for a couple of years now. Along here a little further are Taylor electric guitars. They're a new player in the electric guitar field. They're a major acoustics. acoustics. Here's some of the latest amps that have rolled in over the last few weeks. This Strat, if it was real, would be worth $30,000, $40,000. It gives you the mojo and the vibe of an instrument that's played thousands and thousands of hours in smoky bars. Now this room here, a lot of custom shop Fenders, some Gretsches, our boutique tube amps, Ignator, Koch, we've got Fryettes, Matchless. Several of our staff specialize in pickups. They'll have put every pickup we carry into every guitar imaginable. A lovely way to change the flavor of your instrument without going out and buying another guitar. This is what makes life worth living. Beautiful pre-war piece like this comes in completely original condition, unbelievable instrument. First time I've actually held one of these in my hands. So as we move through this archway, we move into the acoustic part of 12th Fret. About half of the business is the electric and amplifier part, half is the acoustic part. My roots are in acoustic guitar. I played electric all my life, but acoustic is my first love, and as a guitar maker and repairman, acoustic is where my real roots lie. Here we have Taylor guitars. Taylor is one of the big 3 American builders. They produce a very broad selection of new instruments. Also a more elite collection of Taylors called the R Taylor, which are handmade, individually built instruments. We sell a lot of Taylor guitars. Over here we have Gibsons. I grew up playing Gibson acoustics. Much of it is custom built for us at the Gibson plant with unique bracing and tops. 10 or 15 lovely vintage Gibsons from the 40s and 50s. Here we have Dana Bushwa guitars. He's a very flexible builder. Will build in spruce, Engelmann, Adirondack tops. Over here we have Martin guitars. Martin Guitars is the oldest guitar making company in the world, still owned by the Martin family. Over 175 years building instruments in the US. We keep 50 to 60 mandolins in stock at all times, new and vintage. American mandolins. Collings is the main producer of professional quality instruments now. Gibson, of course. Larrivee builds beautiful mandolins. O-hole, F-hole, A-style mandolins, and lots of lovely vintage pieces. Here's a 1929 F2 mandolin. Doesn't get much better than this. Beautiful instrument from 1931. It's actually all there. It's all original tuners, and just huge volume, meant to fill a room before microphones and amplifiers were invented. Over here we've got Collins guitars. Can't say enough good things about Collins. Over here we've got Larives, best known Canadian luthier. Over here, this row is usually a concentration of privately built instruments. These are handmade guitars built by small private luthiers in Canada. When I opened 12th Fret in '77, I never dreamed that I would sell anything. I would only restore and repair guitars. At 21, that was my hope for the future of the 12th Fret, and as the company grew over the years, organically this retail store kind of grew around the repair shop. 15 or 20 years ago, I never would have dreamed that I'd dedicate a room to banjos, but banjos have become a big part of 12th Fret. We carry over 70 models of banjos. Deering is the main American company. They build more banjos than everybody else combined. Can't get much prettier than that, and of course they sound spectacular. Here's the kind of banjo I dream of. It's a late 19th century, lovely old Stuart, beautifully hand-carved heel, completely original old calfskin head, lovely inlays, intricate inlays on the friction tuners. Lovely little banjo, real piece of history. 45 different models of ukes ranging from $69 up to roughly $2,000. Kayla is my favorite low-priced brand of ukuleles. They're certified ukulele nut cases. Classical guitars are a big part of 12th Fret. We import most of our guitars directly from the makers in Spain. Ramirez guitars have been in business 128 years now, still owned by Amalia Ramirez. We carry all of their models, ranging from their advanced student models to $3,000 range to their concert models in the 10,000 plus range. Come on upstairs, we'll see the office, workshop. This is the nerve center of the 12th Fret. All the webmaster work is done at these three workstations. Our FedEx shipping computer, we ship 3 to 5 guitars a day worldwide. It's surprising how much the business has changed because of the internet. We're connected with customers all over the world. We have a huge stock of guitar parts. We need thousands of parts on hand in order to keep the repair shop supplied with the parts they need. We have 3 humidifiers in this building that run 24/7 and monitor relative humidity in this building very carefully during the winter months. If the humidifiers ever shut down, it would be tens of thousands of dollars a day in cracked guitars, so it's pretty important. These are some of my collection of 19th century guitars and one-off construction pieces that we don't display, but we keep them tucked away. Down here's the machine shop. Power buffer gets used constantly for buffing finishes, belt sander, all the messy work's done in here with dust evacuation, so it's a nice little setup. This is one of the most elegant repairs. The peg head has been broken off and the wood was so severely damaged that they did what's called a neck splice. They saw off the front of the peg head to keep the instrument original. The original front is saved and the serial number is saved, and a new section of wood is entirely spliced in and you can follow its pathway there. If the surface of this workbench could talk, the stories it could tell of all the hundreds and thousands of touch-ups that have been blended on this surface. Every color of guitar imaginable. This is this week's crop of incoming repairs that haven't been started yet. Always swamped, have been since the second day I opened 12th Fret in 1977. This is what the 12th Fret was all about when I opened in '77. It was a repair and restoration shop, guitar building, no retail at all. The retail came as an afterthought. This bench is busy all day long during business hours. There's a lineup of customers behind us here, and they have repairs. Come on into the workshop to see where the real work's done. 5 workstations here. There's 6 luthiers who work here. There's all kinds of instrument repairs. These are all guitars that are in the middle of repairs. Seems to be a banjo being restored here. This fella's doing a plane and refret, so he's removed the frets and planed the board. So probably today he'll install new frets and leave it a day, then start lacquering the board. Finishing off a neck reset and gluing a new bridge. This is an old jig that I think I made in the late '70s, and it's been used for hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of bridge reglues. This is the most incredible guitar I've ever owned. Built roughly 1840 by Mr. Martin I himself, and it's completely original. Never been repaired, never had any work done on it, has friction tuners. It's completely intact, beautiful workmanship, and most incredible, just inside the sound hole here is a glue-covered fingerprint where Mr. Martin likely lifted the guitar up and set it on a workbench while some part of the guitar was drying when the finish was being applied. Just an incredible piece, and my absolute favorite guitar on this planet. Love this instrument. Well, thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed the tour. On behalf of the luthiers and the staff at 12th Fret, we want to thank all our customers and hope we'll see you here at the store sometime in person. See you soon.